7, the Washington Capitals empty the bench. And the Washington Capitals have taken a 3-2 lead on the New York Islanders.
Oh, this is interesting to see. Your daily sports podcast, news, narratives, takes, and gambling. I am Nick. Alexander Ovechkin last night moved into sole possession of third place in the NHL's all-time scoring list, passing Jaromir Jagr. Jaromir Jagr had something to say to him. Let's check in with Jaromir.
Alex, the grade 8, congratulations. Now you become the leading NHL goal scorer among European players. But keep scoring, because as you know, I didn't retire from hockey yet. And there's a chance I might come back to NHL and start chasing you.
I love that. Jaromir Jagr played until he was like 42, which is amazing. Hockey's harder than football. Don't care what anyone says. I think Andrew Whitworth, that left tackle, might be harder. But pretty crazy. Jaromir Jagr, third all-time. He passed Brett Hull and then Jaromir Jagr. Now Alexander Ovechkin. He's got Gordie Howe and Wayne Gretzky in his sights. Coming up today, we're going to talk about the bracket. We're going to start today with some baseball and football free agency. I suppose we should start with football. The big news coming last night was from Baker Mayfield, who posted the following message, which I will read to you in its entirety, because why not? I mean, we're here, so you can see it on YouTube. Quote, "The past 4 years have been nothing short of truly life-changing since I heard my name called in the draft to go to Cleveland. This is not a message with a hidden meaning." I didn't get that far before. "This is strictly to thank the city of Cleveland for embracing my family and me. We have made many memories and shared growing in this process through all the ups and downs." That's not a sentence. "I have no clue what happens next, which is the meaning behind the silence I have had during the duration of this process. I can only control what I can, which is trusting in God's plan throughout the process. I have given this franchise everything I have. That is something I've always done at every stage and at every level, and that will not change wherever I take my next step. Whatever happens, ... I just want to say thank you to the fans who truly embrace who I am and the mentality that aligns so well with this city's hardworking people." Paragraph. "Cleveland will always be a part of Emily and my story, and we will always be thankful for the impact it has had and will have in our lives. Sincerely, Baker Reagan Mayfield." Okay, so let's break that shit down. So I think Baker thinks he's getting traded because the Browns are making a pretty serious run at Deshaun Watson. But who the hell knows? Because right now, he's the quarterback of the Cleveland Browns. Deshaun Watson has reportedly met with the Panthers, the Saints, the Browns. People are also suspecting that the Falcons are in play for this because he wants to go there, because remember, he is an accused sexual predator, like a multi-serial sexual predator. So he wants to go to Atlanta because that's where he's from, and he'll feel safe there, like he won't be prosecuted. It'll be safer. The system will take care of him there. That's what people think. There is also a conspiracy theory online that the Atlanta Falcons are getting in the mix just to drive up the price for the Saints and the Panthers, which makes sense. They're rivals, allegedly. Switching to baseball real quick. We might get back to football in a minute. We'll see. Freddie Freeman, Kyle Schwarber are linked to the Blue Jays. They're also linked to the Giants and the Phillies. The Phillies are linked to Chris Bryant. There's a bunch of free agents that all that shit's been on pause because of the work stoppage. Duh. I'll be honest, I don't really care about that right now. But what we should care about and what we do need to talk about is the fact that it has been confirmed that New York City mask mandates will prevent unvaccinated players from playing in games. As of right now, that could change. COVID is going through a pretty serious spike in Europe right now, and whether or not how you believe in testing and vaccinations and all that stuff, I know that New York City is going to continue to put it to the Trumpsters who saw fit to elect Donald Trump. So they're not going to care about baseball players. Never, ever. That means guys like Aaron Judge, who didn't say whether or not he was vaccinated, they will not be able to play games in Yankee Stadium. I don't know what this means. I don't know what the union agreed to. I don't know if he'll be paid for that. But New York City letting these guys play in games does not seem super likely to me. Maybe it seems super likely to other people, but it does not seem likely to me. Also in baseball, this is great. We found out yesterday that Ken Griffey Jr. is currently the 6th highest paid player on the Reds roster this year. Did you hear what I just said? Yeah, Ken Griffey Jr. was traded from the Reds in 2008. He'll be the 6th highest paid player on their roster this year. These stories are great because he's been retired for a while. He's going to receive a $3.5 million paycheck from the Reds. Oh, man, good for him. Good for him. And speaking of good for you, Chase Daniel signed a $2 or $3 million contract with the Chargers to remain their backup quarterback. He continues to make an ass ton of money despite like never playing in games. Teach your kid to play quarterback. All you can want for your kid is to have no expectations and be so successful as Chase Daniel. He's our bag king, man. He is our bag king. Unbelievable. The Lakers continue to suck. LeBron James doesn't care, which is absolutely fascinating and enjoyable for all of us to watch. They're not going to make the playoffs, and not only are they not going to make the playoffs, they're just simply not. They're not good. They might fall off the face of the earth. They could be a lottery team if they try hard. Of course, maybe that's the move. Becoming a lottery team. You love to see it. You absolutely love to see it. I want to bring some attention to this Twitter thread that I found yesterday. That is this guy that has the headshots, the official university headshots of every single head coach in the NCAA tournament. If you're on YouTube right now, you can find it. Look at this. This thread is amazing. I'm obsessed with this thread. Mark Few, Gonzaga, religious studies professor. Let's go find some other famous ones. Penny Hardaway, Memphis, car insurance salesman. Dan Hurley, UConn, accountant, 100%. Middle school principal. Eric Musselman, local golf instructor. Holy shit, that is so funny. Look at him. I want to find, hold on, let's do MLB. It hasn't loaded. There's a guy in here that's a midfielder. United States Senator Bob McKillop from Davidson. Oh my God. Coach K, hospital director. Damn. This is just great. I can't recommend this thread enough. I'll try to help you guys out and point it out. Wow. It is the best. The NCAA tournament started yesterday. Indiana knocks off Wyoming. It's always a bummer when you have these games and what happens is the team doesn't play well. Wyoming's best players just completely shit the bed. Their best player had more, I think, like almost as many turnovers as points. Texas Southern beats Texas A&M Corpus Christi. They will advance to the official, real NCAA tournament. Notre Dame and Rutgers tonight. They're the nightcap at 9:10 p.m., which is a crime against God. Bryant will play Wright State. Why the fuck are we doing this in Dayton? Somebody play a game at a reasonable hour. What are we doing? Since it's Wednesday, going to continue to look through some stuff before we do the bracket. We'll do the bracket tomorrow because it's Thursday, whatever. We have a report from the Bills Wire and a report from some local Buffalo sources that Kathy Hochul is expected to announce a budget for a Bills stadium, which means the billionaires don't have to pay for their own stadiums. They never do. They absolutely never have to pay for their own stadiums. And why would they? Why the hell would they, man? They're billionaires. They can impact local politics. Would you rather pay for it or lose the Bills? It's completely up to you. But those are essentially the two options: pay for it or lose the Bills. NFL free agency day 3 is coming today. Deshaun Watson is expected to be traded any second now. We'll see. I'm not sure how much I believe that. It's entirely possible. Once that domino falls, Baker Mayfield, Jared Goff, who's the other one? Jimmy Garoppolo, Matt Ryan could be on the trade block because if the Falcons get him, what are they going to do with Matt Ryan? So it's going to become a weird thing. Everyone really freaking out about the Jaguars. They released former first round pick Miles Jack, that insane Saxonville defense from 2017. They got screwed out of a trip to the Super Bowl. People forget about that. Jacksonville should have been in the Super Bowl in 2017 against Philly, not the Patriots. It's just dumb luck. They released Miles Jack, who could have been a Heisman Trophy contender at a better school. Remember, he played linebacker and running back for UCLA. He was an adequate running back, but he was an elite linebacker in the NFL. His play fell off in recent years. I don't know why they would release him. They signed another middle linebacker in free agency, so I guess they just kind of opted for this guy over him. Kind of strange. Big free agency story yesterday is that Randy Gregory was going to re-sign with the Cowboys, and then at the last second, they announced it. Everybody announced it and everything, and then the last second, there was some finagling, and he decided to go with the Broncos, and now it turns out that maybe his agent was confused about what he wanted. There's some offset language and this has been well reported now. There's some offset language in the contract that would have prevented him from getting paid had he been fined or suspended by the NFL, which is pretty standard, not only in Cowboys contracts, but in everybody's contracts. The Cowboys have only made an exception to this offset language, preventing them from having to pay a guy who's suspended or fined for Dak Prescott. And quarterbacks are special people, as we all know. And that makes sense. And then they were getting fussy about it. They do this for basically every player, allegedly. And then the agent was like, well, what do you want? So now he's on the Broncos. So what the hell's going to happen? And that means Von Miller's not going to the Bronx. So where the fuck is Von Miller going to go? It'd be interesting if he went to the Cowboys. He's from Dallas. I love it, though. NFL free agency is so enjoyable. First overall pick in the NFL draft, the odds have exploded for Aiden Hutchinson, the D-end from Michigan, to be the first overall pick. Jacksonville's spending a ton of money. They're going to be pretty competitive this year. And Doug Peterson is a competent head coach compared to Urban Meyer. Let's go with the Final Four. Man, I take a lot of risks in Final Fours just because I think that if you don't take risks, you're not having any fun. This bracket is pretty chalky with one crazy situation. Wow, wait, maybe too chalky. It's still time to screw this up. But right now, my tentative Final Four is Gonzaga, Rutgers, Notre Dame, Arizona, and Villanova. Remember, twice the play-in 11 seed has made the Final Four. I have Rutgers, Notre Dame being Duke because that is hilarious. Gonna have to change some shit elsewhere, though. I also have Arizona and Villanova. Villanova, quietly just a really elite basketball program. People forget about them. They're great at free throws. They have Connor Gillespie, who's one of the best players in the country that people just they just forget about Nova. Just they're keeping their heads down. We're going to continue to cover NFL free agency. The NHL trade deadline has happened, and one of the greatest players in the history of the San Jose Sharks, and frankly, one of the best players in the history of the Boston Bruins, who they never should have got rid of. Joe Thornton has been traded. He got traded to the Florida Panthers, and he made his return to San Jose over the weekend. Here is that. We'll get you out of here on this.
For 15 seasons of Sharks hockey.
He's a legend. Look at that beard if you're watching. Joe Thornton's beard is bananas. He's one of the greats, man. Hall of Famer. Look at him. Interesting to see. We'll be back and better than ever tomorrow. We're going to do March Madness. We're going to look at my bracket, gambling preview. Like, rate, review, subscribe. Check me out on YouTube, etc., etc.